ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our third episode of Business Process Management by Lindsay Partners. My name is Shiko Kashambo. I'm the managing partner at Lindsay Partners, a business process management and partnership relationship management firm that aids our customers to effectively and efficiently manage their resources to achieve their business objectives. Today we have two gentlemen. To my left, we have Mr. Jarren Mwanika, who is a partner at Icon Lounge at Forest Mall, and also a general manager at PPE Center, that firm that provides personal protective equipment. He will talk more about it as he introduces himself. To my right, we have Owen Bigombe, the managing director at Bigombe Engineering Auto Car Care Center. So today we are going to be talking all things business process management. Before we begin, I would like to introduce my panelists to introduce themselves a little bit more.
My name is Jarren Mwanika, as Shiko has said. I am the general manager of PPE Center Limited, which is a protective equipment supplies company and also a quality health, safety and environment consultancy firm where we offer solutions for occupational health and safety as well as protective equipment. I am also a partner at Icon Lounge, which is located at Forest Mall, a bar and restaurant. And yeah, I'm happy to be here today. I'd like to see what Mr. Kashambo has for us.
Thank you. Yes. Mr. Owen.
It's my cue.
Yeah.
I'm Owen Bigombe. I'm the founder, Bachiga Nation, a cultural institution, organization, if I could call it. Then an MD at Bigombe Engineering.
Rukunde Gume.
Yeah, Rukunde Gume was the slogan for Bachiga Nation.
Yes.
Yes.
So as we are talking all things business process management, we have two gentlemen that come from different professional backgrounds. Jarren is a chemical engineer by profession and also a barman / restaurateur. Is that so?
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of process management, how then have your two companies become better after your implementation of a process-based management? To give background on it, I once was an employee of Mr. Jarren Mwanika. I was the general manager at Icon, a position I so gladly took on, and I miss very much. I hope you have
You're welcome. Come back. You can first put these bigger things aside and come back and help us. We shall talk. Well, to answer your question, both industries that I've worked in are very reliable on processes and management and process management put together. When you look at my background in chemical engineering and my current work with PPE Center, it is important for the existence of processes, not only in running the business, but in implementation of the work that we do. The need for these processes comes down to literally saving lives. When I come and sell my PPE to you, I would not be completing my task without me giving you the necessary steps and requirements for storage of the PPE, proper usage of this PPE, because without that can affect the person who's using this equipment. And then when you look at the bar and restaurant industry, my bottom line is dependent on processing, because there are so many stages from procurement till I present you your drink or your meal on the table that would require proper steps, regulations to ensure that profits are being made, and there's lack of wastage, there's people doing the jobs in the right way, the customer is satisfied. There's so many processes that have been put in place for this to happen. So it's my industries are both very dependent on process-based management. Without processes, we are nothing.
That's true. That's true. That's good. Moving on to Mr. Owen Bigombe. Bachiga are known to be quite unruly. We're probably the only tribe in the country that has had no king.
Yeah.
So process management could be quite an interesting concept when it comes to organizing and putting them together. How then have you used different process management models to improve on your engagement, both with the organization of Bachiga Nation as an event,
Yeah.
as well as Bigombe Engineering as an auto care center?
Yeah.
How has this helped improve on their engagement internally, as well as of other stakeholders, as well as the communication along implementation of these process models?
Okay. Just for clarity, Bachiga are not unruly. Yeah.
Well pointing at the camera.
Yeah. We are not unruly. We could be mistaken for something else. Yeah, but I think it becomes a little bit easier to run these processes under management, especially under Bachiga Nation, because Bachiga are straightforward people. If it's black, it's black. There's no gray. So it becomes a bit very easy to run through the processes in which to run the organization. Now, most of the people know Bachiga Nation because of the festival, but yet we have the festival, but yet we have the organization that plans the festival. So what we did, because it was about community, it's about building one another. The best way we thought about it is, why don't we build our own human resource? So instead of actually going out and looking for a professional, we got volunteers that were interested in actually supporting the organization. Then over time, we then got to see their strengths, then started assigning them roles. In that way, they were able to do their roles to their full capacity, because that's what he does every day. We have a guy, he's called Chief Mugara. I even don't know how he got the name Chief, but literally everyone from Chigezi knows Chief. Yes. So, and he's in charge of mobilization. Yeah. So you just tell him, we need people. Chief is like, okay. You understand? At the end of the day, you have a full ground. And it will be Chief's work. But it has to come from good leadership. So when you decide and say, okay, this is what we are going to do this year. We have this project and this project and this project. Now, we need funds for this. We need funds for this. How do we bring in that money? First of all, before we started charging, we used a kind of slightly different module from what was used to the market. Everyone comes in. No one has ever done a free event. Every event that I've heard of around has to have a cost to it. So basically, simply because we have to deal with so many people, especially stakeholders, for example, the vendors, then you have partners that come in terms of sponsorship, then the people. So, like the vendors have a system they go through before they are verified. You don't have issues of food poisoning, blah, blah, blah. So they are sieved, then given contracts, so that you don't want to have a back and forth. So that's one process in managing the stakeholders. Then the audience, definitely it's the usual things. Make sure you come at this time. I'm sure now after this whole COVID situation, it's going to be make sure you have a mask, you have a sanitizer.
Yeah.
As much as I'm sure they will ask us to provide these things that they get, but it would be easier to tell somebody, to carry
Come with your own
sanitizer. It's much easier. Yeah. So, in regards the organization, I basically looked out for people that first came willingly, then we looked at their strength, then assigned them roles, and they followed through. So For the workshop, it was a bit more difficult because it's more of business. So for the workshop, what we did is basically you will have the mechanics. Then, because we wanted to have a different service delivered from what's already on the market, so many people are always complaining about mechanics. So we said, why not make it a bit different? Yeah? When you bring in your car for repair or for service, at least let your car go back clean. Yeah? Let's have a car, let it be washed before you have it delivered. If you want the car picked up, let someone be able to pick it up on time and be able to deliver it back on time. Yes. And that's minus, you don't need, as a client, you don't need to pay them transport. The guy who is delivering the car, he's just delivering the car. Just a little more customer
value addition, exactly.
But the process is the same. The spare parts will come, you do the inventory, how to send them out. Yeah.
I think processes should be company-based, should be business-based, not based on the individual. I do not hire Shiko, tell Shiko, okay, now you're going to do this, and because of the way Shiko is or Shiko thinks, I'm going to adjust the way my business runs so that Shiko can manage this job. I feel like we should implement processes for our company so that when Shiko comes, it is plug and play. Yeah. Shiko walks in, finds his job description, finds his KPIs, finds how he can achieve those KPIs, and now what I expect from Shiko is to even show me how we can do that more efficiently.
Yeah.
You get?
Yes.
So it is not about, it is presenting Shiko with the understanding, sorry for using your name all the time. It is to get Shiko to understand the value of these processes and process-based management, not just only in the workplace, but even in your daily life. It's something that can help you achieve a lot in just waking up in the morning, getting out a notebook and planning out your day and time and scheduling your day and achieving, stating what you want to achieve for that day. That alone is really process-based management. And if you're able to show your employees the value of this, not only in the workplace, but in their normal lives, I feel like this is something that they'll be willing to take on. And this is how you can spread this bug. Yeah. It's by giving them and helping them understand the value of this thing. And secondly, once you have these processes set, it even makes the employees' work in the workplace easy. Yes. Yeah. They can fluidly do their work and they're happy. There's not too much stress. And of course, there are situations which will come and shake you and still, that is when you have the moments to come together and say, okay, what can we do, and create another process for when this happens. So I believe that this process-based management should be for the business. It is to give your business continuity and longevity. Yeah. You understand? So that regardless of who is working for you, who you work with at that particular moment, these processes are still existent. They are looked at, they are revised, and it's just plug and play. Someone comes in and knows what they need to do, how they need to get there, and then from then on, it's just a mode of improvement. We're just improving our processes and what we're doing. I can give you an example of how now we're in COVID. Yeah. I mean, we woke up one day, the world was different, and they gave us a set of rules and regulations that we need to follow, whether we like it or not. But these rules and regulations were there for us, to better our lives, to get us to a point of normal again. Yes, to save us, to keep us safe. And it was not, they did not consider how Owen wakes up in the morning, what he feels like doing, how Owen wants to know. They gave us these standard operating procedures. And we have learned how to follow them, and we have realized that following these operating procedures actually benefits us. Yeah, it's not just some guy who's giving us a setup. Yeah, so these processes, it's I think it's about education. Us like dialogues like this. This dialogue with employees, this is important. To have this kind of conversation with people who work for you. For me, going and having staff meetings at Icon and helping them understand why we are doing certain things in a certain way. Why I expect you to come and weigh every bottle in the morning. It's not because I want you to work overtime. It's just so that we can have our stock in check. We know how much profit we're making, how much is being wasted, and we find ways to mitigate this wastage. Like especially like the bar and restaurant business. I want to tell you that without processes, it is very, very. It's impossible to run. It's impossible to make money in that industry. from the way your barman is serving a drink, from the way he pours, if he's not using a shot measurer, I mean, there are people who have been barmen for years and they feel like, I know the way a shot looks in a glass. But even just those 5 milliliters extra for 10 drinks is 50 milliliters. Those are 2 free shots you've just given randomly. You understand? So like I said earlier, processes in the bar and restaurant industry, for me personally, have 100% to do with my bottom line. Without them, I'm not sure of profit. I'm not assured of making money. It looks like it's easy, just buy a beer, buy a drink, order a meal. No, without those processes, I'm not sure whether I am making a profit. Do I know that when Shiko orders his icon burger and Owen orders his icon burger, am I sure that Shiko's plate cost me X amount to make as well as Owen's plate? Or did they add extra fries and extra sauces, and did Shiko have too much butter? All these affect, how I'm making money. Because on top of that, on top of selling it, I also have, expenditures that come, and then the profit is not, it has its place. Yeah. And to ensure that place, you need to make sure these processes are followed and to the T, exactly. So to make it contagious, I think the best way is just to educate, to give people understanding of why they're doing things in a certain way, to show them. I mean, if you showed someone that if you did it this way, it's going to be double work. If you do it this way, it's much easier. It gives us other time to figure out how we can improve on ourselves and work better. That's my opinion on how we can make.
That's a very great
answer. Make this contagious.
Even adding to what is said, like at the workshop, it's known workshops are dirty. Mechanics are always dirty. Yeah. But the rules, the health and safety measures that we have at the workshop,
in place,
whether you want it or not, you're supposed to have cotton vest in your jacket or in your overall. It's guaranteed. So that if in any way oil spills on any surface you're working on,
easy fix.
You clean.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. You clean. Now, because you're going to continuously do that, you're going to now be mindful of your hands. So now the cleanliness has come from just the surface,
that
now to
everything in general.
Yes. So instead of having, because there are some of the staff members that came on the job and they were black on black, not because of anything, but because their hands, they never really cared to actually clean their hands. It was not. Mwanika. You get it? Then we introduced things like car seat covers, carbonate covers. So if you're working on the car, you open the bonnet, you put a cover along. Now, first of all, you have to overall as a mechanic. There is not a single time you're supposed to do that. You're going to make sure you clean it. So if I don't want to wash all the time, I'm going to be careful.
Clean,
get that. Yeah. So those processes help a lot. So when the employee comes in, it's not for the benefit of just the business, but even the employee gets themselves. And even if you're clean at the workplace, you're definitely clean at home. Because you bring the mindset back home.
It sticks with you. And interesting you should mention that, because that's a segue to your final question. What is your approach when it comes to staff training in terms of process improvement initiatives? As you have mentioned, you have a way in which you train them to understand that personal hygiene comes from the hygiene at the workplace. So what is your approach when it comes to training your staff or your employees to process improvement initiatives?
I'll say, one, we get, from now speaking from the point of the employers, we get to fear to invest in staff training because we think they are going to become better, go
and leave
and become a competition. It's okay. Has he become better? Because once he's better, my business is better. I may not be there to overlook what he's doing, but can I be rest assured that my business is going to keep moving. Yeah. So going through the staff training processes is to the benefit of the employer first, then the employee. And I've not met any employee that has really come up and said, because of the information and the knowledge I've gathered from this workplace, I think it's time for me to leave. It's usually either bad management or they have really done their time.
Yes.
They have done their time. They feel now they need to grow. Or do something else. But if I've been employed before, okay, for like 6 months, but I've been employed.
Did they train you and then you ran away?
No, I just felt that it was not. I could not sit behind a desk. I felt it was really limiting me. But it was a good environment. It was very good. But the processes, it's very important, but it's more to the employer to gain than the employee.
Or the employee to gain than the employer.
No, the employer. Because you see, well, basically, once you train your staff, regardless of whether there is the possibility of your staff leaving or not, you have upped your business. Your business has moved from here, it's now here. It's bare minimum now.
Exactly.